So on the USTEC 100, it has been quite a profitable week so far for us on the USTEC 100, as you can see here. So we were able to spot, hold on a second, let's go up into the 4 hours time frame. Let's look at things from an holistic point of view, while we'll come back into our lower time frame to see what is really going on here. So this was what we saw at the beginning of the week, right on the 4 hours time frame. We saw our price action had been on a very strong bullish momentum since the last trading week of the month of April. And to further emphasize the strength of the buyers in this market, we connected the series of higher lows here, which has given us this resultant bullish trend line that you can see on your screen right now. And price action had consistently respected the trend line, and in addition to that trend line, we had a key level had a 13,300, which happens to be our yardstick for this week. So this was what we were looking forward to this week here. So we can see how this level was initially a sell zone at one point, that is during the later part of last month, before we witnessed the breakout of the structure. I think last week, this happened last week exactly. And since the breakout of this level, we saw how the 13,300 became a new platform for buying opportunities in this market. And since then, we have seen how that level had been negating all attempt by the sellers to break down the structure at every point in time. Even at the beginning of this week as well, we saw how buy pressure sprang out from that area, which also shares a confluence with that bullish trend line. Now, the question right now is, will this bullish trend line continue to hold the bullish momentum here? As you can see, as soon as price action got into that 13,500 level, a very strong psychological area, we have been noticing some selling pressure around that area, as price action is yet to break out of the previous high in the last 24 hours. So when we scale down to a much more lower time frame, like the 1 hour time frame, we begin to see things more clearly. And yesterday, I told us all yesterday that we want to, during our live session yesterday, this was where we were during the live session on Tuesday. Okay, I think we were here. Okay, we were around this area here. So we were looking forward to more opportunities at the breakout of the 13,435. So we said here that as long as price action remains above this level here and the trend line, we feel comfortable in our buy position while we look out for more opportunities in this market. So the 13,390 was a platform for buying opportunity yesterday, which you can see what happened here. We saw a sharp rejection and price action continued to move to the upside. We also had another opportunity to add more position at the breakout of the 13,435. So we had a total of about, from this one, we had about 110 pips move from that area. Then from here, we had about 60-70 pips move before we saw this bearish momentum begin. And I do hope you moved your stop loss accordingly, as you know how we do it here. When price action moves significantly well in our favor, we want to be moving our stop loss accordingly to lock in some profit. And this was exactly what we did, and before price action took us out, so we were able to lock in some profit there and make some small bucks from that particular move. Now, going into the New York session today, what is going to be our plan? What do we expect to see here to either support a bullish momentum or a bearish move? Well, if we look at what has been happening since the beginning of the week and following the breakout of this 13,390, it makes more sense to look out for more buying opportunity. And considering the fact that price action is sitting right above a bullish trend line, it makes quite a whole lot of sense to look out for more opportunities to buy. Now, another thing that will also caught our attention here is following the test of the new high at the 13,500. I would like to acknowledge that level so that we can see, have a visual understanding of what is going on here. So we have the 13,500. So let me map that out here and label it the 13,500 level right there. So since price action tested that new high there at the 13,500, we saw this impulsive move to the downside, and interesting enough, this impulsive move transitioned into what looks more like a reversal pattern in the form of a double bottom structure. Though it's not yet a confirmed reversal pattern yet, as we need price action to break out of the neckline of that structure. And you all know what we do whenever we identify a potential neck reversal pattern like this. The next thing we want to be doing is to identify the neckline of that reversal pattern, which will definitely be a platform where we are going to be looking out for buying opportunity, and a breakout of that neckline will definitely validate the potency of this reversal pattern. So we have a neckline here at a 13,465. So what will make this whole reversal pattern valid is, for one, price action does not break below the previous low. That is one. Then secondly, price action breaks out of this neckline. Then at this point, we shall be seeing this as a valid reversal pattern. Now, a breakout retest of that structure will give us more opportunities to buy, while we look out for more opportunities at the breakout of the 13,500 area to add more position to our existing trade. So this is what we shall be looking at to add more position to our existing trade and looking out for more buying opportunity in this market. So as long as price action remains above the 13,435, we want to look out for buying opportunity. A breakout of the 13,465 will validate this double bottom structure, giving us more opportunity to add more position to our existing trade. Now, coupled with the reversal pattern here, the potential reversal pattern here is this trend line I was able to spot here after connecting the series of lower highs. So you can see price is here to break the previous high. So we have been seeing lower highs in this market. But one interesting thing about the lower highs here that still gives us an insight into the potentials of buyer here is that price is yet to find a lower low. And because of the fact that we have been seeing buy pressure around this area, it's quite a beautiful sign that buyers still have a say in this market. So if this trend line is broken to the upside, then at this point we want to be looking out for buying opportunity so that we can maximize the potential of this move to the upside. So what this simply means is that we would have had the privilege of joining the bullish momentum even before the breakout of the neckline had a 13,465 happen. So a breakout retest of this trend line will welcome buying opportunity. Then we could as well be on standby to be part of the move when price action breaks out of the 13,465 level, where the breakout of the 13,500 will welcome more selling buying opportunities in this market. Now, in as much as we're looking out for buying opportunity, you know how we do it here. We don't want to keep all our eggs in one basket. We want to be as flexible as possible. The market is a very fluid environment, and for us to be consistently profitable in such environment, we need to be as flexible as possible. So if we have a bias prior to the New York session and things come out different from what we think it is, we should be capable and able to move and shift accordingly to join the next move. So in as much as we are looking out for buying opportunity at this point, we should not ignore the potentials of sellers too as well. And if we look at this structure, what do you think we can see here that will make us to sell the USTEC 100 today? Well, personally, first of all, we want to consider the bearish trend line we just identified here. So if I extend this out into this area here, we have something like this. So this is the trend line we identified earlier. So as long as price action remains below the trend line, then we want to look out for selling opportunities. But this will not happen unless a breakdown of the support line here had the 13,420 area happen. So remember, this area has been a strong buying niche in the last 12 to 15 hours in this market. So we want to see price action take out all the buy positions here to give us a signal that sellers are gradually coming in. And remember, we are not getting too excited as soon as the breakdown happens. So we are not having a sell stop order at all around that area, as we still need some confirmation to happen. Remember, we are on a very long-term bullish momentum, so we need price action to break out, then do some retest of structure on our lower time frame, where we start seeing selling pressure come in. That is, buyers find it very, very difficult to break above the trend line. Then at this point, we want to consider selling the USTEC 100. Now, if we continue to sell and price action drops further to the downside, right into that level had a 13,390, which also shares a confluence with that bullish trend line we identified earlier. If I zoom out, you will see the bullish trend line. So you can see the bullish trend line sharing a beautiful confluence with that 13,390. So what we are going to be doing here, move your stop loss as soon as price gets into the structure, lock in the position we are currently in, and wait out to see how price action will react to that level. And depending on how price reacts to that area will determine if we are going to be adding more sell position or getting ready to buy. So a breakdown of the structure retest will welcome more selling opportunities in this market, while the appearance of buy pressure above the 13,390, which also shares a confluence with the trend line, will be a sign that price action is about to respect the trend line one more time to incite another wave of bullish momentum. So these are my views here on the USTEC 100 today. So we have a couple of structures here we are going to be using to guide our trading activity. Most importantly is this trend line we have here, which is highlighted with that red thick line you can see on your screen. So that is the trend line. So as long as price remains below the trend line, we look out for selling opportunities. And if price action breaks out to retest the trend line, we look out for buying opportunities. And remember, we have structures around the 13,465 to welcome more buy position, and structures around the 13,500 to welcome more opportunities to add more position to our existing trade. So these are my views here on the USTEC 100 for today. If you do have any questions, feel free to let me know right in the comment section.